Welcome back to the Means Report. We appreciate you staying with us. Thanks again to my Tunnel to Towers friends for talking about the upcoming 5K this Saturday, September 9th at AU. Bright and early, a great way to start your day and support a wonderful cause. Bring the whole family, as my guests mentioned. Speaking of Augusta University, let's kind of put our finger on the pulse of things at that wonderful institution and find out what is happening as the fall semester gets underway in earnest. Mark Thompson is the Interim Dean of the Hull College of Business. He is our guest now. Dean Thompson, thanks for taking the time to be with us. We appreciate you.
Well, thanks for having me.
Let's get a feel for how things are going. As I mentioned at the top of our first segment, I thought I saw something on social media that said we were looking at really strong enrollment this fall. What are you hearing over there?
Enrollment is looking great. It's at an all-time high for Augusta University. So we are one of the few institutions in the university system of Georgia that's actually growing. So those are huge perks.
What about on the College of Business side? How are things going over there for y'all? Do you see the building just bustling with people right about now?
It is nice to see that there are a lot of students in Allgood Hall. The whole college is doing well. We've got a lot of excitement coming back from that COVID period of time.
Yeah.
And so we're starting to see the trends of people coming back, wanting to be in class and be in the buildings, and growing enrollment. It's just a lot of excitement.
What do people study at the Hull College? What kind of business? Just kind of walk us through that.
Yeah, so the College of Business has a couple different concentrations. We have a concentration in healthcare management, which coincides quite nicely with a lot of the students that come to Augusta University for the health sciences programs. We also have a concentration in digital marketing, and those are probably our two most popular concentrations.
How does that work out for the young people when they graduate? Are jobs waiting for them? Is the market tough these days?
So the market in general is tough,
yeah.
But we are finding that our business majors have jobs ready. Part of that is due to our internship program. So we require all of our students to do an internship. And so just that kind of experiential learning component really sets our students apart. And so we're in the 80 to 85% have a job ready when they graduate. In certain fields like accounting, it's near 100%. So we're seeing a lot of success with our graduates.
And do you offer master's programs in the Hull College?
We do. We have a master's business administration. It also just started this fall. We have an MBA with a concentration in healthcare management.
We hear so much about cyber at Augusta University, at Fort Gordon, and really throughout the area. Do you all have a relationship with the cyber folks, and is there a combination cyber/business program that students can focus on?
Yeah, there is. So in fact, the cyber program initially came out of the Hull College of Business.
Okay.
So when they created the school, some of the programs that were in information technology and cyber obviously went with the school. We have a concentration in business with some of the IT programs. So there's that collaboration. There's a lot of research collaborations that happen between business and cyber. And then they have a master's degree in information security management. So again, has that business flavor. We've continued to have conversations with them. There's certainly the demand with Fort Gordon of having something in that master's level that's a blend of management and technology. Some of those technical skills, that as they move up, they need more of that managerial and leadership skill set. So there's been conversations about developing programs along those lines.
Can non-traditional students take advantage of that master's program? If somebody's watching right now and is saying, I want to turn over a new leaf, I want to go a different route in life, do you see older folks come to campus?
Yes, in fact, our MBA is really designed for that population.
Okay.
We want that where you have that professional experience and background, but need something to accelerate your career.
Talk to me, and you mentioned post-pandemic a moment ago, talk to me about what college looks like for kids these days. Is it fully back on campus? Do you still have some remote learning going on?
There is. For the most part, it is back on campus, but the pandemic also lent itself to faculty learning new skills about online education, students learning how to learn in an online environment. Augusta University created AU Online, and so there's programs that are being built for that. And so that, It's now an interesting world of a blend of both and the ability to do both. I think students and their preferences, as well as faculty, have changed drastically as a result of the pandemic.
Yeah, that was my next question. Are you seeing that in the workplace as well, where companies want employees who know how to work remotely? Is that happening?
Yes, that is a skill set that we are having to figure out ways to integrate into the classroom to prepare students to be able to do that. Because you're absolutely right that employers are wanting that, they're demanding that, they're expecting the same kind of professional service and personalized attention that you have to be able to do that in an online environment. So how do you do that? So that's a huge component.
So many businesses out there have told me, business owners, that they need workers. And it's primarily in the service industry. Maybe it's not the level of employment that you all prepare students for at the Hall College. But I'll just ask you, are today's college kids hungry? Are they motivated? Are they going to make our businesses better?
I thought you said you were going to ask easy questions.
Well,
no, it's a tough environment because students have learned a number of different things through this time period, and so it used to be my only job option was to go work in, say, the service sector.
Right.
And now there's different opportunities, and there's different opportunities that are much more flexible. And so certain industries are impacted, and it is difficult to find workers.
Well, the world has changed. But I ask you that question because I go into companies, restaurants, businesses, period, and say, what has happened?
Right.
This just feels different. What about internships? Can kids get a taste of the real world before they graduate from Augusta University?
Yes, that is something that really we're seeing Augusta University kind of take the lead on being in experiential learning. Certainly the whole college, as I said, we've made internships a requirement for all of our graduates, but Augusta University has put efforts with career services, because as we grow as a university and you're talking about internships in the local area, making those connections and having business partners that will take on interns, that's critical.
Doesn't it lead to a job a lot of times too? I always tell interns who come into Channel 6, you are so far ahead of the competition just by being here.
Right, it does. And in fact, a lot of students will even talk about how it leads to competition between different job offers because,
Yep.
I interned here, but yet I have an opportunity elsewhere because of that experience.
Are businesses in the Augusta area pretty good about working with y'all? Do you have strong relationships with them where they say, hey, give me your kids? I know Channel 6 does. We have AU students in here all the time.
Yes, we have the local community has just been great to the whole College of Business. They give in so many ways, from internships to serving on the advisory board, to coming in and giving guest lectures and networking. All of those opportunities are just huge for our
I was going to ask you about that, people coming to campus to teach. How might a business owner or somebody who's watching right now says, hey, I have some expertise to lend. How do they hook up with you?
Just email me.
Yeah.
Email me or call the whole college, and we'll connect you.
Talk to me about your dual enrollment program. One of the privileges of working here is I get to give the Golden Apple Award to a teacher each week. And 9 times out of 10, when I visit a school, there's someone in the classroom who is already in college when they're still in high school. Is the whole college involved in that?
We are. Again, as a high school student, you got to find the right course that matches with the high school requirement and the college, course. For us, it's economics, and that just becomes an opportunity for a student to get that dual credit. AU has done a tremendous job in connecting and partnering with Columbia County this past fall, and we've seen a record growth in dual enrollment. I think we've doubled our numbers, where we've got over 300 students in the dual enrollment. So I'm teaching a class at one of the high schools, and I have 32 in there, and it's a different environment. It's exciting.
Wait a second. The interim dean of the Hall College of Business, nationally known business school, I might add. You go to the high schools and teach. You go to one this fall. What are you teaching them?
I'm teaching the Introduction to Economics.
Yeah? How are they doing? That's hard.
They're doing good. They are. You know, again, it's a college class, and they just had their first exam, and you know, they're feeling what it's like to take a college level class.
What's a dual enrollment student? Probably my last question. How far along in college are they when they arrive on campus? Can they start as a sophomore because of their dual enrollment work?
It really depends on how many classes they've taken. Oftentimes, a student that really has taken advantage of dual enrollment can come in as a second semester freshman, that they'll have 15 hours. So they're already a semester ahead. Some, if they're really aggressive and even maybe combine it with some AP credit, they can possibly come in as a sophomore.
All right, well, how do you make it easy for them? And this is my last question. Other than supply and demand, as a high school student, I don't know if I would understand my intro to economics. How do you make it relatable to kids?
Well, we just had this past week an example of applying supply and demand to predicting what might happen to gas prices with an impending hurricane.
All right.
And so all of a sudden, they start to see, well, yeah, that's what's going on in the area, and okay, I'm starting to see this. So that's one way.
I wish you'd been around a few decades ago when I was going through. That was a challenging course, but thank you for making it easy for our young people and for the great work that y'all are doing at AU.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Interim Dean Mark Thompson, our special guest today. When we come back, how you can help us get more great guests like the Dean, and how you can let your voice be heard on the Meets Report.